Hey all, Zach here. I feel like we're all looking for a way to make an extra buck these days. I mean, on top of all my monthly bills, how am I supposed to fuel whatever hobby I'm into that week? I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like my algorithm knows this because I feel like I'm constantly getting ads that are telling me how they can make me money. And while normally you should be wary about anything that claims to be able to make you money for little to no work, today, I'm going all in. I'm going to be downloading some of the apps I've been advertised and put them to the test to see if they actually make my bank account grow or if they just blow. The first app I'm going to be looking at is called Testerup. Testerup advertises itself as Germany's largest platform for paid online testing. I do not remember where I found this app. I don't know if I got an ad for it or if the thought of downloading it was just telekinetically implanted into my brain. First impressions from the app, it looks a little outdated, kind of like they launched the app in 2010 and just never redesigned it. Okay, so this has actually been fixed. The app has gone through a redesign and it actually looks pretty good now. So ignore what I'm saying about how it looks. It's just that the footage I have from using it is from when it looked older, but now it looks like this. So keep that in mind. And then it also fixes something I touch on later, which I will also add. So I was a bit surprised to find out that it actually launched in 2022, but I can get past the clunky interface if the app actually works. It's just that something that looks like it was put together in an afternoon kind of gives that scammy vibe. What's interesting to me is the website boasts a wide selection of surveys, games, different apps, products, as well as cosmetics, and much more. But scrolling through, it's literally just a bunch of mobile games, and then like way at the bottom, just a couple surveys. So you choose a game that looks appealing to you, or maybe instead the dollar amount next to the game catches your eye, which, I mean, come on, $180 just to play Raid Shadow Legends? You get a short description of the game, but not enough to tell you what you actually do in the game. Experience your free online bingo game as you never have before while going on a free bingo games adventure in Bingo Blitz. So the two things that I learned from this is that it is free and it is in fact a bingo game. But if that sounds appetizing to you, then you'll continue to the next screen. And this one's pretty much universal across all of the games. Basically just telling you that you need to accept app tracking so they can track you and make sure that you actually downloaded the game. Then you're taken to the screen where you're actually prompted to download the game, plus a little more description, but this time actually telling you how you make the money playing the game. This is where the $200 starts to seem not as sweet as originally promised. This is Luke. He's my second kitty. Unfortunately, you're not going to get the money just by downloading the app. You're going to have to do a little bit more than that. I'm going to pull out a word from math class, but it's sort of like an exponential tier system. So the further you make it in the game, the more money you get. And the amount of money on each tier increases as well. So for example, complete chapter 1, you get $1. Complete chapter 10, you get $5, which looks promising on the surface. Like all I have to do is beat chapter 22 and I get $52 plus all the other money I got before this. That sounds awesome. So let's boot up the game and get cooking. Most of the games I've downloaded so far have a pretty similar experience. You start off the game firing on all cylinders. There's shapes and colors flying around all over the screen. Level 1, boom, done. Level 2, boom, done. Level 5, boom, done. You're thinking that $200 bill is as good as mine. Then the game just sort of comes to a screeching halt. And I'm not exaggerating when I say you could be playing for an hour or two straight when you first boot up the game, but then every other time you log into the app, maybe 30 seconds of gameplay before you hit a brick wall. Unless, of course, you pay them. See, almost every game is based on an energy or coin system that I'm sure you're familiar with if you've played any mobile game ever. Domino Dreams, for example, let's say costs 2,000 coins to buy in essentially each round. Now, if you beat the level, this is no problem because you always break even and usually make more coins than it took to buy in. So in theory, if you're incredible at dominoes or just have extremely good luck, you could play level after level, chapter after chapter for infinity. In reality, you're going to get tripped up. There's going to be a hard level, or you're just going to have incredibly bad luck with the game's RNG. And just like that, you're out of coins. From what I've experienced so far, you never need to spend real money on the game because there's always some sort of recharge system where every hour they throw you some charity and give you enough coins to be able to play another round. Beat the level and you could get on a roll making some of that money back. Fail again though, and you're stuck waiting another hour, which is where the time aspect comes in. Most of these have a time limit on how long you have to complete all of the goals. Sometimes it's 30 days, sometimes it's 90 days, which sounds like plenty of time. However, if we go back to that tier list, you'll notice that some of the goals have a shorter time span than that. And unfortunately, those are the ones that usually pay out the most. And unfortunately, I've come to realize that these timed goals are essentially impossible to hit, so it's best to not even think about them. But that's why the system is built like this. And who set that system up? Yeah, they're giving away $200 to play a damn mobile game, but most of that money is either locked behind an impossible deadline to hit, or just so far down the line that you're gonna get bored before the 30 days is even up. All that being said, this is a legit app though, because I'm sure whatever money you're making is just a sliver of what testerup is making. I've been around the block a few times, so don't quote me on this, but this is how I assume it works. I assume that these apps essentially pay testerup to advertise the apps on their service. People download the apps and a lot of times probably end up spending money on all those tempting microtransactions, making money for the game developers. Then even if you spend no money on the app, obviously there's still ads. They get your feedback from the short survey you have to take before you cash out. And let's be honest, probably selling your data. All that being said, once my time was up, I was able to redeem the money, albeit just a couple app glitches. To claim your money, you have to go back to that specific app on the home screen, which can be kind of tedious because there's no search function. So you kind of just have to scroll down until you find that app again. I don't know why there isn't just like a My Started Offers tab where you can just easily find all the things that you're in the middle of doing. Yeah, so now this is actually fixed. There's a My Task tab at the bottom. So someone actually went out of their way to put that there to help out the user experience. So I've got to commend them on that, honestly. The games are always changing, but from my experience, I've never had one just disappear, so I have always been able to go back to it. But once you do find it, you just take that short survey asking you, like, did you like the game? Whatever. Instead of getting the money directly, the balance is stored in the app, and it's sorted into money you have from completed offers and not completed offers. And in order to get the app money into actual usable money, you have to have at least $20 of completed offers. So before you jump into this at all, you have to decide, am I dedicated enough to make at least the 20? I'm not going to go through the whole withdrawal process because it's pretty easy to follow, but it does use PayPal, so you need PayPal. Then you just gotta wait a few days for it to process and the money should show up in your account. At this point, my algorithm was convinced I was desperate for money and maybe getting a little lazy because it immediately started showing me ads for an app that pays you to walk. The second app I'm gonna be looking at is called weward or weward. And it's supported by Venus Williams, so do with that what you will. I don't know if it's indicative of the person that I am, but this one was a little bit harder to get into. And it's not just the walking thing, okay? There are a couple other things that I will explain. It tracks your steps with the health app, so I don't think there's any way to fake it, since it's not like those old pedometers where you could just shake it really fast and cheat the system. You're gonna have to actually put in some work. It uses a coin-based system, so the more steps you take, the more coins you earn, and then you can convert those coins into rewards. Or rewards, I guess. This one has a few more options than just a PayPal transfer. You can also get it through Venmo or just a gift card from various popular retailers, which I mean is fine that it has the variety, but I mean, come on, cash is pretty universal. On top of gift cards, there's also free trials, sweepstakes you can enter, or get this, a 4-day trip to Paris, which will only cost you a cool 150,000 coins. There's also some charities you can donate to, but come on. So you're probably wondering, well, how many coins do I get per step that I take? Each day you have these set goals, and similar to the last app, the more steps you take, the more coins you get. But different from the last app is these goals reset every day. So in order to get any coins at all for that day, you have to walk your average amount of steps taken in the last 4 weeks, I think. I think that's what this little green star is. Walking your average amount of steps for the day will get you 2 coins. So that trip to Paris may be même pas un rêve. Then from there, 2,500 steps is 3 coins, 10,000 steps is 10 coins, and then the most you can get in a day, 20,000 steps, is 25 coins. So it's not a perfect 1-to-1 conversion rate because you get a little bit less or a little bit more depending on the goal that you hit. But if we took the average 10 coins divided by 10,000 steps, it would give you 0.001 coins for every 1 step, or about 1 coin per 1,000 steps. Meaning to get a 4-day trip to Paris, you would need to take 150 million steps. Now, this number is so absolutely absurd, I had to ask ChatGPT to make sure I was doing my math correctly, because as I came to find out, the average person walks 200 to 250 million steps in a lifetime. So you're probably not going to be seeing the Eiffel Tower, not by strictly walking at least. However, there are a few ways to earn some extra coins here and there. Funnily enough, this app also has a play to earn section, which is more or less the same thing as testerup. There's a watch and spin section where you can watch an ad and spin a wheel to see if you can win any extra coins. However, I won a card pack. What the hell does that mean, you're probably wondering? It's basically like any video game collectible where they aren't necessary for completion, but I guess it just gives you a little thing to do if you get bored. You get cards by hitting your step goal for the day, but you can also find them by doing this weird Pokemon Go ripoff thing. So you go to the Wii Cards tab and it will show you cards that are around your specific location. And the goal is to walk to each of those places to essentially get that card. So I guess that's kind of fun. Now, this all seems fine and good, but I have a hard time believing that there's actually anybody out there like, oh man, I gotta catch on my Wii cards today to show off all my friends my completed card collections. Maybe I'm just so far removed from the running community that there are people out there who would get excited over this the same way that I would get excited getting to level 100 on the Fortnite Battle Pass, which I can admit does absolutely nothing for me other than a couple of cool skins and the slight to moderate satisfaction of saying I did it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is just incentivizing you to take more steps throughout the day, which I'll be the first to admit I could probably be doing a little bit more of. And if all someone needs to make a little bit of a positive change in their life is knowing that a $5 Amazon gift card is on the other side, that's great. But for me personally, it just isn't enough for me to get off of my lazy ass. One last thing that makes this app harder to get into is the fact that each day you have to physically go into the app and convert your steps into coins. So it's not like you can just download the app, forget about it for a couple of weeks, do a bunch of walking, and then come back to riches even King Midas, the guy from Fortnite, would be jealous of. No. Before midnight each day, you have to make sure you're hitting that convert my steps button, or all the progress you made that day is just gone. This is probably a deliberate design choice just to get people to use the app every day, which, let's be honest, is the goal of any app, because the longer someone's on it, the more likely they are to watch an ad to get more coins, to buy a card pack, which in turn makes the company more money. And I won't lie, even just a simple act of converting your steps before bed every day is just sometimes hard to keep up with. You get busy, you fall asleep, or you simply just have more important things going on in your life than checking a dumb app every day. So you could say that I threw in the towel, but I would like to say that it just wasn't for me. With all that being said, I made 112 coins, which isn't even enough for a $5 Venmo. Okay, so I got to thinking I only did 2 apps, which isn't a lot. So I'm going to do a lightning round now to talk about some of the other apps that I got advertised, just to give a bit better of an overview and also just make a more rounded video, you know? Solitaire Clash. This one is the Windows Classic, but with a bit of a twist. The twist is gambling. Not really, but basically. You have to buy in with gems or cash. Yes, that is your real cash. So like the others, you probably don't have to spend money, but it is very highly incentivized, especially giving you deals. The more you spend, the more you get, sort of thing. With things like Apple Pay, Venmo, and PayPal, making it easier than ever to bet the house on the ponies, per se. Some rounds you buy in with gems to make more gems, some you buy in with gems to make cash, and some you buy in with cash to make more cash. Once again, this icon represents your real money. If you deposit $50 of your real money, this will now say $50 right here. And I feel like something could be said about the line being blurred between mobile game currency and real world cold hard cash, but I don't have the time for that right now. Block-a-lot. This one is the exact same thing as Solitaire, even made by the same developer, except obviously instead of being Solitaire, it's this quasi Tetris puzzle-like game. Everything from the gems to the real money you could spend is the same. Triumph. This one is essentially the same app again, except made by different people. And instead of just being one game you might get bored of, this one includes an array of ripoffs of all your favorite mobile games, including Gorilla Getaway, Chicken Run, Pegmaster, hey look, even Solitaire. I could actually see myself getting sucked into this one because when it comes to Crossy Road, I'm absolutely untouchable, but unfortunately for me, even gods bleed. Flip. This one seems like it was essentially TikTok Shop, the app where people could make product review videos and then link that product so they could make a commission for people who are buying it. So actually, it was exactly TikTok Shop, the app. I use past tense because it actually shut down towards the end of 2025, so I guess that explains why I couldn't make an account. Pogo. This one is a mishmash. No, not the failed cereal that Rhett and Link made. What happened to that, by the way? Anyway, it's a mishmash of an app like testerup mixed with something like Fetch. And Fetch is an app that pays you to shop, essentially. So altogether, you can play games, take surveys, and scan your receipts to get rewards. My parents would absolutely eat this one up. Eureka! So this one is a little interesting. This one is kind of similar to the apps that I've looked at already, but instead of just games and surveys, you can also get rewarded by installing apps, watching ads, taking polls, and then doing this thing, they call it check-in, where a certain store or restaurant will pop up, and then the app will track you, and then reward you if you actually visit that place. And believe me, it is a very small amount of money you get for doing these things, like 4 cents for watching an ad. Small. Free cash, I like the sound of that. Fun fact, if you use the desktop version of this one, it will blast music and sound effects in your ears, and as far as I can tell, there's no way to stop it. This is basically testerup, play games, complete challenges, earn money. But instead of just regular and timely rewards, this one also has bonus rewards, limited rewards, burning rewards, daily rewards, lottery rewards, and main rewards. Don't ask me to explain the difference. Jackpot. This one crosses the line into actual gambling, and I'm not even hesitant to say it. This is quite literally just a way to buy lottery tickets, but instead of driving all the way down to your local gas station, you can do it from the convenience of your phone. So you can lose money at rates never seen before. This one gave me a scratch off for free, and I won $0. Don't worry though, because some of the money goes back to responsible gambling. So to help fund gambling addiction counseling and anti-gambling PSAs, they encourage gambling. Scrambly. That one's fun to say. Not much else to say about it though, because it's just another app that pays you to walk. But weward, I still don't know how to say it. That one just seems way more efficient because in order to get a $5 transfer from that one, you have to take around 500,000 steps. But with this one, you have to take 1,250,000 steps. So really, if you're deciding between the two, it's a no-brainer. But I guess if you really wanted to, you could go find like 10 of these apps that pay you to walk and then just do the same thing on all of them and then just watch the cash flow in. I don't think there's anything stopping you. Atlas Earth. This one is the weirdest, but also I guess then the most interesting one that I've come across. In a way, you're basically just cosplaying as a landowner. So they gave me this free piece of land that is actually like where I am in real life, and then you make rent on the land that you own. Extremely slowly, by the way. Like a few days ago, I had 0.000006 cents, and today I have 0.0008 cents. At that rate, I'll reach the $5 payout in 86 years. So obviously you can buy more land to make money faster, but as you've also probably guessed, the quickest way to get Atlas bucks is to spend real money. This now concludes our lightning round. So in conclusion, are these apps worth it? I would say it really just depends on your lifestyle and what you already decide to spend your time doing. I mean, that is the gist of most of these apps, is get paid to do the things that you already do. I can't even tell you how much time I waste playing random mobile games. So to earn a few bucks while I'm doing it is just a nice little bonus, but don't expect anything life-changing. Any app that claims to give you thousands of dollars or be your main source of income is simply lying. I know that just because I've lived on this planet for 25 years and know you're not getting by that easily. Although I know it can be tempting, so if you do end up downloading any apps like this, just remember, be smart, be cautious, never give out your credit card number, and always remember, Epic will never ask for your password. Wow, 3 Fortnite references in one video? That's gotta be a record. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.